if you can't tell by these beautiful palm trees behind me, I am back to Miami from California. And if you haven't watched our latest 2 vlog videos that we put out for you guys, I urge you to go and check it out because California was an amazing time. They have an amazing motorcycle scene over there at LA, and the scenery has been beautiful as well because we got to go on some of the canyon roads. And now that I'm back here in Motomillion, it's back to the daily life for me. Not that it's a bad daily life because I do enjoy what I do over here. It's a lot of fun. But it's very inspiring to go on these trips because I come back fully recharged and I get to see a lot of stuff that's different. Because imagine there was 300 or 400 motorcycles that showed up to the Motor Club Los Angeles' opening, which was also a 650E meetup, which was crazy. But I mean, there was a lot of really nice bikes there. And as I mentioned on that video, there was nothing that was the same as one another. Yes, there were same Panigale V4s and there were S1000 RRs, but they were all different because they all had a different flavor. They all had a different character, the character of the owner or whoever that built it for the owner. And that's what I'm going to get to today, and I'm going to try to explain what inspires me to do these Motomillion builds, because if you guys are familiar with some of our builds and watch our build videos, I get the privilege of picking and choosing what we do with these motorcycles, and oftentimes we don't do the same bike. So we'll never do, even if you're doing a Yamaha R1M, both of them won't look alike because I really would like to do different things, and this is what the fun part about this job is, that we do builds and I get inspired by one thing or another, and we'll go ahead and put that imagination into a creation in terms of a motorcycle. And since I've been back, we've actually done some work on this Panigale V2. By the time you're watching this video, you guys would have seen already one of the episodes of the build of this thing, and you guys will get to see that second video that we've shot for the build of the Panigale V2 after this vlog video is live. So it'll be the next video that gets released by Motomillion. And I'm so happy to be back because who doesn't like to be back around these parts? And let me do a quick little update for you guys. I know that you guys know this SP2 is back. There's a huge update about this SP2 actually. This bike is most likely going to get a paint job on it. That is not very SP2, but we're going to do something very, very special because we have a very special client who is interested in this bike, but he really wants it to be very, very special as well. And I think we are going to take the challenge. So we need to get inspired, and I actually asked him to send me a picture of what he thinks. He sent me an old school Ducati picture that is a little bit challenging, but that is very, very inspirational for me to actually get that done. Again, it goes back to the whole thing of getting inspired, and sometimes it's just taking a look at an older bike that will get me inspired to see what we're gonna do, because I kind of have to give the direction to the creative person who's gonna make this paint scheme for this motorcycle. And a quick little reminder of our beautiful beast over here, the Panigale V4. It's not getting a paint job. It's actually going to go up for sale, and it means that we got to probably roll this bike out at some time today, get some pictures. We already have some other beautiful pictures of it to post this beautiful thing for sale. And you guys are probably wondering, why are we not painting this? I was really inspired by an orange Lamborghini color that I thought it would look really good on this motorcycle because it has so many curves and lines. But when we're done with the build of the phase 1 build, which what you see here, I just thought it would be a shame to paint this bike because it looks so good that we just decided to leave it like this. And also, if you guys are watching our Panigale V2 build, our Panigale V2 was supposed to get a paint scheme, but when we start putting it together, we realized that it looks so good that that's not getting painted either. But let me get some stuff done over here and just hold that thought about being inspired, because I have a few other things, and there's some very big news in the motorcycle world that is very inspirational to what we do over here at Motomillion as well. But before I open that topic, I gotta put the camera down, get some work done, and then we'll talk about that big motorcycle news. Did it. I cleaned up my mess that I had made. I still got to go through the bolts and nuts that we have here to sort them out. And by this time that you're watching this video, you probably have seen that we did the chain and sprockets on our Panigale V2 build. It's almost back together and it is going to look absolutely awesome. I don't want to show too much of it because there's still one episode left for it to take shape into this final shape. But now I just got to clean the chain really quickly because we really didn't have time to clean up the chain after we installed it, and I want to get some of that factory goop off of it. Let's put it in an angle that I don't give away a lot of what's been done next to this bike, but I'm going to do this. I think it's going to be ready to ride once the bodywork is back on. Just take a look at this. So this chain setup on this bike is looking really good. And go watch the video because we saved a ton of weight. This bike went from a 520 chain to an upgraded 520 chain, and I was really surprised with how much weight we saved. I'm not going to give it up on how much weight we saved because I really want you to go check out that video. It really surprised me. Well, now that's done, let's get back to the big news in the motorcycling world. It's actually big news in motorsport world because it is the time of the year where MotoGP teams get to sign their new contracts and get their rider lineup ready for next year. And in case you've been living under a rock or just don't care about MotoGP, there is some big names that are being signed to big names. So big riders getting signed to big companies, and Jorge Martin has confirmed that it's signed up with Aprilia for next year. This has been the biggest news. It was actually the first news that came out this year because he was destined to be the second factory rider for Ducati until Marc Marquez came and spoiled the party. And I guess since Ducati was not being so straightforward with him, he just decided to sign up with Aprilia anyways. He is currently, as we speak, the world champion in the world championship standings. I think it's a big name that's gone for Ducati, and if the Aprilia can keep up with the Ducatis, he might win a world championship for Aprilia next year. I hope that happens. I'm a big fan of Jorge. I got to meet him a couple years in a row, and this year as well in Austin, Texas when I was there, and he's just an amazing person off the track as well. And going back to the inspirational things, when you go to these events, to MotoGP and other things, and you get to see the bikes, those things also become an inspiration for our projects, because if you take a look at these things, these are the MotoGP inspired buttons on our Panigale V2 build, and ever since these were available for street bikes, we've been using them because when you ride this bike, you just think that you're riding a GP bike or something close to a GP bike, obviously. Even this upper triple that you see on this is what Ducati calls the GP upper triple. It takes inspiration from MotoGP, and also for me, since I'm a very big motorsport fan, big fan of World Superbike and MotoGP, our builds that we do get a lot of inspiration from these racing events and the bikes obviously that are around the MotoGP paddock. And it's great that nowadays technology has come so far forward that some of these things that we see, it can get translated into having them on our road bikes, just like that upper triple that you saw. And there's actually a lot more stuff coming. We have a special project that's coming up with an S1000RR that we're working hard to adapt the World Superbike part off one of the World Superbikes onto the next build that's going to be happening. That build, we're not going to be doing that build. It's actually going to be a part of 650's build series, but I'm very well involved with the inspiration behind that build because it was kind of an idea that we came up with together. But Eve's been very friendly with me in terms of letting me choose the direction of that new S1000RR that is about to start. Office. I'm at one of my favorite places. I'm at Nicholas's shop at Auto Laboratory because I'm bringing him this piece. So this is a little sneak peek of what's going to happen with our Panigale V2. I'm here to drop this carbon fiber piece off so that we could finally get our Panigale V2 build finished. He's going to do a special magic touch on this piece to make it fit our Panigale V2's scheme. It's not going to be a paint scheme, but it's going to be the color scheme that we're going for. But while we're here, just take a look at this craziness. He's always got some special and cool cars, and this is actually the latest Rolls Royce. This is all electric. It no longer has an engine, and I wonder what's in here. Definitely is not an engine. It looks like a just big cover that's underneath. And look at this, amazing. This color is really cool. This is almost like a Valentino Rossi yellow. This is what I'm going to call it. So this is also a huge part of inspiration of the things that we do. Obviously, we don't do Lamborghini builds or any other build like that, I often get inspired by looking at some really beautiful, cool cars and supercars, and it's no secret at this point that I'm a big car enthusiast as much as I'm a motorcycle enthusiast. And this place is like Wonderland. Let me drop this off to Nicholas. Let me ask him what I have to ask him, and let me bug him a little bit, and then we'll go back to our shop where I'll probably end our vlog session over there. But let me get this dropped off to Nicholas. We also have the other side over here too, and let him know if what we want to do on this is possible. And then I'll just probably drool a little more over these beautiful cars he has over here. And then I gotta get back because I still got a lot of work to do before I finish my day. Well, we haven't forgotten about the Aprilia RSV4, one of the fan favorites. You guys love that Grape Ape. It's called Grape Ape because of the purple wheels, guys. And this is 650 Eve's very own ultra black RSV4. After he saw what we did to that RSV4, and I'm telling you, pictures don't do justice. When I met you guys over there in California, the Grape Ape was there as well. Everyone who followed the build said that the bike does not look anything like it does in person, on camera. Those wheels really suit the bike really well. That purple color was really hard to film because of the color settings or whatever it is. It never looked right on camera, but in person it looks superb, and I think every single one of you guys had agreed with us too. So for this RSV4, Ebe wants us to change it to a full exhaust. We're going to continue developing the rear caliper setup because we weren't finished yet with it. With the Speed White RSV4 that we had over here, we had to make some more tweaks with that rear caliper bracket. Now we're waiting on the brake lines. You guys can expect to see a lot more content coming from this Aprilia. And speaking of Aprilias and speaking of inspiration, we got inspired while we were in California to maybe pick up another Aprilia for our builds. I mean, with all the news happening around Jorge Martin and MotoGP with Aprilia, and also the grand opening at Motor Club Los Angeles, which is an Aprilia dealership, I'm really getting inspired to pick up an Aprilia to maybe do a Jorge Martin edition. I know it's not 2025 yet and he hasn't officially joined the Aprilia team, but it is official that for the 2025 MotoGP racing season, he will be under the Aprilia colors, and I think it's a great chance to put all of this onto a really cool Aprilia. I've been thinking of an RS660 because we really do enjoy this little baby superbike that we have here. The Torna V4 1100 may be the winner because we have loads of carbon fiber that's available for that bike, and also most of the parts that we use on our RSV4 builds fit right onto those Torna V4s. And after the Street Fighter V4, I think it'll be a great naked bike to have over here. But I think I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm expecting your comments regarding what Aprilia we could do a Jorge Martin edition, or even if you even should try to do a Jorge Martin edition. So let us know in the comments down below. I better put this camera down and get back to work, guys. Until next time, thank you for watching.